There we go. Well, YouTubers, guess what? 1974. Dun dun dun. NPC Hijacker Kit. As you know, right now, I am actually starting to do the painting on the interior parts. Now, I'm trying to get the actual video footage of this. I know, as of late, as you can really tell, I just started back on Saturday during the weekend, or a couple of weekends ago. I started mounting the floor to the frame, got the steering column in, got everything pretty much all together for the frame. As a matter of fact, now I'm actually working on the interior, just started painting it, which is really interesting. I've done these old kits back when I was a kid, being brought up, in a traditional set family. And, so now I'm doing the beige. Let me just remove the thinner from the front of the camera. And I'm actually starting to paint the doghouse, actually using an acrylic-based paint, which is the Model Master leather. And then I'm using more like a random tan to simulate, well, doing a two-coat project on it right now. As you can tell, it's just only one coat, which will be filled in. Other than that, I actually started doing the paneling for underneath the bed, which I'm doing a retro 70s look. So, which I think is going to be really cool, given the fact that I was brought up in a family of tradition. And, with that being said, I bought out some new stuff today. Just taking a break from the video gaming that some of you people have actually seen me done. And, actually now, I'm just going to show you exactly what I've done. I mean, not very much. It's going to be a simple throwback kit from the early 70s. As you can tell right now, I'm actually going to start painting the second coat on the bed. And normally, like what I normally do for something like this, mostly I actually apply very little light brush strokes on the bed. Now this is just the second coat. Normally, if you could see how you compare the two, you see the difference in the texture. This has got the second coat, of course, obviously, and then you got the first coat. Now, me being the way I am as far as doing the throwbacks from the 1970s, it was just something that my cousins and I have done, but also doing this, in a way of making it a throwback, which really helps. Now, generally what I normally do, I would actually recommend doing a very light but even strokes on the part itself, just to kind of even out the texture, the paint tones and stuff. It's okay the first coat, like, to miss a few here and there, but when you do the second coat, it's more made to be of the texture. Normally what I do is I just do this for a lot of reasons. Nobody's really going to see the back of this, which I could paint that side too, but as you can tell, the colorization is getting a little bit better. So there's a lot of interesting things are going to happen very soon. I'm trying to keep everything updated as far as my hijacker kit is concerned. I know most of you who've actually seen my videos of video gaming live. I actually do a little bit of both gaming and model building. Now, for being that and said, Actually, not so much gaming and model building. I also deal with RC cars. With that being said, I am now at the point where you're going to see various videos of me doing various things. I know everybody's got like good sets of traits, what have you. I'm actually more leaning towards do two different videos of what I'm doing. And by doing that, I'm actually promoting myself out there. A while ago, I actually started doing a lot of simple, basic model buildings. More likely, I go to retro past. I always recommend, like when you're building model kits, always do very light first coats. This way, it'll help a little bit with the second coat. I mean, I wouldn't go like light on the first. I go like a medium paint. And me live airing this is pretty cool. Actually, years ago, I never did this. Like doing the whole self-control and brushes and stuff like that. And being in doing this for so long, I've done this for about maybe a few times here and there, a little bit on the upslope on well, not really, I shouldn't say upslope, but as you can tell what I'm doing, I'll explain that later, but as you can tell what I'm doing is whatever I get on a heavy coating, and you see the difference in the color, I'm trying to get a desired depth, a desired look for building this particular MPC hijacker kit. The reason why I'm doing a 1970s is because, being in that era, I was actually born in late 70s, but I've always done the throwbacks from even when I was a kid. I know some of you vintage model builders who've actually know what I'm talking about, who bought kits back like in the 70s and the 80s, knew exactly how bad some of the kits were, how the mold injections were done. And sometimes you had the really cheap kits that, well, the plastic with plastic would melt, by using the tester's rubber cement, which those were kind of fun time. And of course, some of us who back in the day who actually used to build models remember how fun that was inhaling rubber cement when they were kids. Normally for me, I've actually always done this as a fun high point in my life. I'm still going to continue building models actually until I can't build them no more. Given the fact of where I'm at now in my life, and being that of the first, or not really the first, but one of the few transgender model builders out there. I mean, some of us who have transitioned, building models was a thing I've loved, and now being where I am now in my life, it's not too bad. It's actually enjoyable, I mean, just, I have better control on the painting and stuff, with the brushing and stuff like that. And building up these old hijacker kits are kind of like one of the things that kind of bring back a very good time in my life where, I would never paint these very well. I was never in control of painting these. And not being in control of painting these, I used to glob paint them. I mean, it was so bad to the point, when you're a kid, you look at it and you're like, yeah, okay, this is like one of the most, dumb things I've ever done. Big globs, globs of paint and stuff. And I was always criticizing about myself, at the time building these hijacker kits. Because, I had a couple of them. I had this one and I had another one. Actually, one that was similar to the Hijacker kit of the 74 version vintage. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some water, fill in this cup, because I'm actually using acrylic. And give me about a second, and I'll be right back. Now, the reason why I didn't go with acrylic, or not acrylic, enamel, is it's the same. Well, enamel, I shouldn't say enamel's the same as acrylic. Acrylic happens to dry quicker. But I also enjoy doing acrylic because it dries quick. It dries faster. Enamel, on the other hand, doesn't. And the reason I don't do enamel very much, or I do a mix, is because in my point in high of building models, I realized that enamel, I was impatient when I was a kid, and enamel used to get really bad. And every time I built the Hijacker kit, I used to leave fingerprints. I don't anymore. And what I love about this Hijacker kit in general, it's not so much the fact that building this thing, I mean, granted, of all the headaches, of all the aggravation and everything else, and of course, the seat being on here to dry up. And of course, I'm doing a second coat on this one, which will actually be nice, because when you put it together, it'll kind of sit in, actually it'll sit in like that. And see, it's not really glued or anything, but I'm getting to that point now where, I mean, if you like these Hijacker kits, and you want to go for it, I mean, you can get a discount off it. I mean, you can order these things, or you go to a local hobby shop. And what I love about this particular kit, and I'm right now in the point of debating if I should do it, is what I want to do is actually, I'm doing a real throwback, so I'm actually going to add, well, the funny thing is that the kit, it comes with this little TV, and I'm going to actually do that with the TV. And of course it's got the pillows. You can't forget pillows now. It has a lot of other things too. This, I still think, I'm convinced, who in the right mind, but one thing I have to point out about MPC, they give you a hood, and that actually would go to the little, to this little stove over here with the sink. Oh, I have to get it out of the parts bag, but if you look, here's the stove, the sink, the hood, so you're pretty much, you're going to put the hood over the stove. But to be honest with you, I'm not really going to add this. I'm just going to make it look kind of, I'm trying to do a really good job at making it all retro. A nice little 70s orange they had done. But as far as anything goes, instant coffee. That's all I'm drinking, but yeah, so my whole thing was last night's video, which was my hard decision. It's like I said in my previous video, that now I'm getting to actually show more of different variant videos rather than trying to say, okay, I'm doing not just so much gaming, but also my talent, showing, you know, what you can do with this particular Hijacker kit. To be honest, you can actually do it any way you want, really, modify it any way you want. I mean, I'm just building it directly stock in retro. So, usually these videos I make about the Hijacker kit are pretty short. I do have to show an upcoming video, which will be about the Coca-Cola truck I've worked on. Back in the winter time, I did complete it, and I need to start showing that. So hopefully tomorrow there might be a video on it, and we'll just do it from there. And yeah, as I was saying, leather paint. But I recommend, if you're going to build the Hijacker kit, do get acrylic Model Master paints for the interior, and use this kind of paint if you decide to. I mean, if you're going retro, I would use this Krylon, the Color Master Paint and Primer, which is a satin brown, and this will actually work for the carpeting on the floor. If you're looking for a retro fit, which I'm doing a retro 70s, so I'm going according to the original coating of the 1970s. Kind of outdated, yeah, kind of old, yeah, but you know what? It's always a good thing. But now I'm going to start doing a second coat on the bottom of the seat, which this one I'm going to finish up, which really isn't too bad. I normally don't do a second coat on interior seats. Normally I just do like a one coat and done deal it. But I'm at that point now where I am going to start second coating. And hopefully, you know, at that point I'll be okay. Not many people would actually agree with my methods of how I paint these seats, or why I do it with very light brush strokes on these kits. I mean, you know, but then again, I'm trying to preserve what's an integrity of older model kits, trying to get them to look at least fairly decent enough. But other than that, it's always, you know, a good thing to do when you're, you know, on a hot day. You don't want to go out, and this is like a perfect kit to work on it, you know, for hot days and stuff. But, you know, more than that, going very easy on the painting, trying not to lose all the detail. The reason why, that's the main reason why I actually brush stroke very lightly on these, is not to destroy the detail. I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin the integrity of the kit. As you can tell, this is the second coat. The only thing I did with this is my first mistake was I used an oil-based paint. I waited overnight to dry, sanded it down, and then I started doing the recoat, but using a different type of brown, which actually, now if you look, this is why I sanded it, because it was so high in the texture. If you see where some of the sand marks are, this is where you're seeing the imperfections of the oil-based paint. And it was pretty sad, because I bought that oil-based paint about a couple years ago, and it dried up on me. So now I have to go back and redo a mistake. I mean, you know, I that was just my own little thing there. And the entire things that have been going on, you know, of course, as you know, we get into allergy season, and I've been kind of wonky for the past few days. So I'm kind of like doing a live broadcast, but my love and my whole Latin love of everything is video gaming and model building. And it's like I said before, it'll be the actual video gaming and model building in between. Usually, you saw my latest video, Until Dawn. I did 2 segments already on that one. And this time I'm actually looking to keep with that. Just get rid of this excess paint, so I don't make a mistake on the bed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can tell, I just let the coats dry in between, and I just do more. As far as like the brush strokes go, I mean, if you're doing this for so long, and you know, I mean, I've done model building video gaming for so long that I'm kind of like now at this point, like these are the only two things I'll do in my life. You know, we're on a different day now. We're not even halfway at the end of the month yet for June. As of late, it's been kind of fun, one way or another. So yeah, that takes care of the final part of the bed, of the hijacker. That last little bit of the cushion right there. Done up. We set that down. It's not going to matter because it's not going to go anywhere. And so I just do a little bit here and there. And a lot of my friends have asked me about it and said, you know, Layla, why are you doing all the hard work, you know? And I tell them, it's really, model building isn't hard work. I mean, as long as you put your mind to it and you build it, it's all good. There's like nothing wrong, nothing bad. You know, it sounds kind of like a hippie thing to say, but truthfully, it really is. It's really good. It's good to build, and a lot of us, you know, even me, a couple of my other friends, we take time building it. But like I said, as you can tell, I'm going very light, or I'm trying to go very light as possible with the painting, because I'm trying to get every little detail to stick out. And I guarantee you buy this hijacker kit and painting it whatever you want to paint it, it'll work so well for you. And it's a lot, you know. If you like building old retro kits and you're curious exactly how they were done, this is how they were done. Painted the exact same color, believe it or not. I actually like to keep that little clean right there. I actually also wanted to do a theme, or not really a theme, but a memoriam. I lost my dad 2 years ago, and I was going to do a really nice looking throwback color, you know, something from the 70s, and he was always a Ford lover, so I bought the hijacker kit because it was a Ford. I mean, you know, yeah, everybody thinks that Ford vehicles aren't good, and something that they, you know, mean, like, hence the word, Ford vehicles suck, they don't do anything, yada yada yada. And yeah, it's not, you know, I mean, not everybody's into Ford. I mean, there's people who are into Dodges, people are into Chevys, people like model kits that are, you know, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, whatever tickles your fancy. If you like older model kits, if you want to do a throwback kit, it's very easy to do. I mean, for the exact reason, I want to show you something that hasn't been seen. I'm kind of in the process right now of getting it together. And I want to show you this very old kit. I actually started to do it. I started to build it. This one here is not a hijacker. This is a Challenger TA. What I am doing right now really is just kit bashing it. There's nothing special about it. Eventually there'll be videos out for other kits. Right now, I'm not doing any other model kits. Just doing the wonderful hijacker of MPC, and everything about it. I mean, besides the headache and aggravation, I mean, who has not enjoyed the hijacker MPC kits? I know some people just got like really bad about it. Like, oh yeah, MPC hijacker kit, big whoop. But I mean, if you're a Ford person, it's one thing, and if you're just like a person who's interested in it and wants to build it, hey, have at it. I mean, they're fun kits. You just have to do a little trimming here and there with the Axis Flash, and you're good. I'm not saying it's an easy kit to build, but at the same time, I mean, there's no really skill level to it. I mean, there's like newer kits now. They don't do anything for me. The newer kits. That's why I kind of go for the throwbacks, and and that's pretty much it. But of course, I drink my coffee yet again. You get to that point, and it's really good. But if you like my videos and you want, looking to see more, just click like and subscribe, and I'll be looking to see you all around. Bye for now.